What's good, YouTube? Hey, how y'all doing today? Appreciate all the views once again. I love seeing the interactions. I love people getting involved and typing on their computers and setting me straight. You know, I'm a noob. I'm a rookie when it comes to this Warhammer life. Like I said, I'm super excited though. But so much so that there's a lot of things that I want to watch, but I want to do it live. I want to do a live reaction. I don't want to watch it and then kind of fake the funk. Everything I do is going to be live. I mean, there's going to be editing in this video, but like I said, it's going to be my live reaction, to the videos I watch. So today, what we got going on is we got a little. We're gonna watch another Bricky video. This will probably be the last two Bricky videos that I watch in this series, for at least for a little bit. I'm gonna spread the love, and I saw some requests for some looting videos, and I think there was another. I don't know if he's from New Zealand or from Australia. Excuse me if I got any people from New Zealand or from Australia in the audience, because my untrained ear, I can't tell the difference between your accents. And funny story about that I'll probably tell later. It was the first time I met an actual person from New Zealand in the streets of Seoul, Korea. But anyways, I appreciate you guys stopping by. As you can tell, I'm rambling right now, but as you can tell, I've done a little upgrading. I got a new camera, so hopefully the camera quality is a little bit better. I know before, a couple people, one of my homies who I really appreciate his constructive criticism, was like, hey man, your camera looks like you've been filming with a toaster. So it looked pretty bad. So I upgraded. This should be in 4K. Hopefully everything comes out great. I'm trying to get better, guys. I'm trying to get better with my presentation. I'm trying to give y'all some more content. All right, so with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get to our video. But before, we gotta do our little thing. It's time for another reaction. All right.
As someone who doesn't necessarily serve the Omnissiah, but someone who can appreciate them, you will not be getting my legs today, as I will be replacing them with various things depending on which faction we are currently talking about, to add a little bit more context.
I also don't have legs, just in case you didn't know.
Text and possible comedy to whatever the hell I am currently doing. So, hello everybody, my name is Bricky, and this is going to be a long video and a large project that has been going on for quite some time. This is, I need two hands for this. This is every single Warhammer 40K race in kind of a nutshell, explained, a little bit of explanation, a little bit of lore, a little bit of talking about.
All right, Bricky, you got me. Wrapped in, like I said before, I love things in a nutshell. Wrap it up for me. This is going to be a long video. My last video was pretty long, but people liked it. So from what I understand, this is a part 1. So there's going to be a part 2. And I might even split these. I said that last video, but I was being lazy, guys. I won't be lazy no more. I will actually probably split these up so it's not 51 minutes long, and with my interactions, it would probably push it over an hour. So I'll try to keep these to around 30. Then I'll split it up, and then we'll have something else going on.
About the tabletop, mostly lore, what they're all about, and also a little bit of background for those of you who just have no clue what Warhammer 40,000 is.
Which is me. I mean, I shouldn't say I have no clue, because I have a little clue now, especially with all the information that you guys have been sharing with me. But I'm pretty new, pretty fresh, wet behind the ears. Apparently, this franchise has been going on forever, and I'm just picking it up. So I think I've been learning out of order, but that happens, I remember when Game of Thrones came out, and I had to try to figure out which books came in which order before I read them.
And you see, Warhammer and Warhammer 40,000 is a universe people hear plenty of, but don't know a whole lot about. They see, oh, there's these dudes in big power armor with chainsaw swords, and they got these big old green orcs, and there's some bugs over there, and everyone calls these guys weebs. And then there's these spiky bitches over here, and I don't get it. I don't understand. Where do I start? Well, this video is particularly for you, or for those of you who have a little bit of knowledge, but you're kind of curious about.
He's even got a picture of me. No, we look just alike.
Each of the different races and factions in Warhammer. So overall, the Warhammer universe is vast when it comes to lore and background, and each different faction is so different with the things that they believe in. And some are human, some are transhuman, like where they all have all these crazy ass electronics on them. You've got aliens, and you've got the
wonder if they can use public bathrooms. Bad joke, I know. Sorry, guys.
Chaos factions, and there's so much to entail that I decided to embark on this project to tell you what each and every single one of them is about, and what the Warhammer universe is about as well, to give at least a little bit of an intro to this extremely bloated but very, very enjoyable world that I and many others partake in. So, I will be explaining every single faction in the Warhammer 40k universe, at least all the factions you can play as, and some smaller factions here and there. I will not be discussing absolutely everything in it, because that is a little bit much, and I'm not going to go too mega deep into the lore.
No Adeptus Arbitus, for example. Okay.
To give you a pretty solid overview of each of the different factions and have you learn a little bit about them, and we'll discuss a little bit of the tabletop as well in case you were curious about that. But for this episode entirely, we are discussing...
You know, it's crazy. I've seen the eagle, the double-headed eagle. Is that a double-headed eagle? I'm assuming it's an eagle. Maybe it's a condor. I don't know. But one's got an eye, the other one doesn't. I've seen it before. I've seen it in the back of people's cars, like stickers here and there. And I thought it was something completely different. I thought it was like some new age German something. My wife's German, so I don't like Germans.
The Imperium of Man, because that takes up a fat chunk of Warhammer lore.
All right, Imperium of Man. Here we go.
What is Warhammer 40,000? Well, the 40,000 starts off is the year 40,000, the 41st millennium. That's where it takes place.
Oh, I see. That's what that. I've always seen the dates at the bottom, and I assume that they were dates, but I never put together M41 as the 41st millennium.
This is in the year 40,000, 41,000 AD. You're already more knowledgeable. Let me read you a quote, first of many quotes in this video. It is the 41st millennium. For more than 100 years, the Emperor has sat immobile on the golden throne of Earth. He is the master of mankind by the will of the gods, and master of 1,000,000 worlds by the might of his inexhaustible armies. He is a rotting carcass, writhing invisibly with power from the dark age of technology. He is the carrion lord of the Imperium, for whom 1,000 souls are sacrificed every day so that he may never truly die. To be a man in such times is to be amongst untold billions. It is to live in the cruelest and most bloody regime imaginable. These are the tales of those times. Forget the power of technology and science, for so much has been forgotten, never to be relearned. Forget the promise of progress.
That sucks. I mean, obviously, this is cool from the outside looking in, but I'm a person that really enjoys technology. I really enjoy the furtherment of our knowledge of the universe and what technology does for us. It would kind of suck for the Dark Ages to happen again. I've read or I've heard how advanced the Roman Empire was, only for all that technology, not to be lost forever, but still they regressed. Mankind regressed in that area of the world.
and understanding, for in the grim, dark future, there is only war. There is no peace amongst the stars, only an eternity of carnage and slaughter, and the laughter of thirsting gods. Everything blows. And it blows fucking hard. Warhammer is probably the most...
I like the Spaceballs picture you had in the background with the ship that turned into the Maid.
most dark and depressing universes ever in fiction, or at least like top 3. Everything is so absurdly horrible, destructive, or overpowered that it all kind of ends up canceling itself out. It's like Dota. War rages across the galaxy. Interstellar travel is only possible due to sacrificing 1,000 souls a day to a rotting carcass of a man who you believe to be your god.
That is
demonic gods and just demons tear open the fabric of reality on a whim. Other Xenos or even other humans end up killing each other in untold billions across the galaxy. It is a time of unending war, slaughter, and a bloodbath amongst everybody.
I don't know if he's going to answer this, but it's just another question. So all this is happening in the Milky Way. I know it's our galaxy and it's supposed to be our time, but it's just the galaxy. No Andromeda, no, I don't know any other galaxy names. So, because they're all letters and stuff. I know Andromeda because you can see it. But so all this is happening in the Milky Way. Yeah, I know the Milky Way is huge. But yeah, that'd be cool. That would be cool. That's kind of just something I said. But let me know in the comments. Hopefully I cut that out. Let me know in the comments if this is all happening in our galaxy. If he doesn't tell me later in the video.
Planets are deemed unrecoverable and are completely destroyed on a whim. Everything sucks, but that's like the charm of it. See, everything in Warhammer is evil, but being evil is kind of fun. Like, humanity in its own right is a xenophobic, prejudice, and religious zealot group that kill each other just as much as they kill all of their enemies.
Is that a stretch from what we're doing right now? It is. I have faith in my fellow man. Kinda. Not really. If I did, I wouldn't own a gun.
And they're like mid to high tier evil on the evil scale of Warhammer. Nobody is good. No matter who you are, everyone is some flavor, some color of evil. Whoever you pick, you are going to be the bad guy. But that's the fun of it, because being the bad guy is badass. True. Villains are cool. They look cool, they got cool outfits, they got cool weapons, they got cool armies. Villains are cool, man.
Yeah, like growing up, playing G.I. Joe, Cobra had the best vehicles. I'm just saying, they did.
And when everyone is a villain, everyone is pretty cool. That's what makes this so charming, is that everyone can be the bad guy. So let's start off talking about the main bad guy, quote unquote, the Imperium of Man.
It's hair, whack. It's gear, whack.
The Imperium of Man is the main empire of the human race. All of humanity is under this one flag called the Imperium. And about 10,000 years ago, there was a man. He was the Emperor of mankind, a 10-foot tall psychic demigod who led humanity across the stars to colonize tons and tons of worlds, create superhuman soldiers, and really bring humanity into a new age. This man, the Emperor of Mankind, was a psyker. And a psyker is like a magician of sorts. In the world of 40K, there is the warp, the immaterium, kind of like hell, but sort of like a purgatory dimension of hell. And a psyker is someone who can take that power and manifest it through their mind to use it to do stuff, like witchcraft stuff, magician stuff, spells, and lots of other things, but we don't want to get too into that. The Emperor, big boy psyker. Top tier, A+, maybe even S. Now, the Emperor created a bunch of sons.
Okay,
yes,
so, like these are all the Primarchs, if I remember correctly, that was in the last video. There's 20 of them, not 27, 20 separate.
Created a bunch of sons known as the Primarchs. He created 20. 18 Primarchs to have them
I get the joke. I get it. Because, yeah, we won't speak of them.
lead all of the different legions of humanity to the different stars and plans to help colonize and bring it out. These Primarchs are basically like little versions of the Emperor. Not all of them are Psychers, but a lot of them are very, very powerful, and they lead his special Space Marine legions. Then this big clusterfuck happened called the Horus Heresy, where the Emperor's favorite son, the Primarch, Horus, ended up joining Chaos and leading 9 of the 18, half of his Primarchs directly to Earth to fight down the Emperor himself. Now, if you want to know what Chaos is, remember what I mentioned earlier, the warp, that Immaterium, the hellish place? In there relies the 4 Chaos gods. Imagine like Satan and 3 other Satans. The warp being kind of evil, those Chaos gods, that's the reason. And so those Chaos gods manipulated Horus, and then Horus helped manipulate all 8 other Primarchs to lead this giant coup.
If I haven't said this before, the clip art or the art is amazing. Like, I'm so mad it's taking me so long to get into this.
Directly on the Emperor on Earth, and they fucked up shit. After this huge civil war, Horus died, but not before brutally wounding the Emperor, and right at the end of his life, they put the Emperor on this large golden throne on Earth, in which he is now alive, just barely, but slowly rotting away, powering something called the Astronomicon, so long as he stays alive, and is fed 1,000 people a day. The Astronomicon is like the North Star. If you want to do interstellar travel in 40K, you need to pass through that demonic warp I mentioned earlier. But how do you know where you're going? Well, the Emperor is there putting a nice little navigator right there. He helps navigate you.
Real science lore, time for the video. So apparently NASA has figured out how to navigate in space using pulsars. So, you know, whenever you're navigating on Earth, if you're doing land nav or whatever, you use reference points, either dead reckoning or like looking at something and triangulating, and I always wondered if we were in space, how would we be able to do that? Because right now we use, for the most part, GPS, Global Positioning Satellite. It's GPS. I forgot what the P&S stands for. But anyways, we use that system, and there's satellites everywhere, right? And they're floating around in space. And then what you end up doing is basically the more satellites that you can lock onto, the better you can triangulate your position. I know in the aircraft that I worked on, the number would have to be pretty, I wouldn't say large, but more than 1, more than 2. More than 3. We'll put it that way. I'm not sure exactly what I can say, but it would use a computer or a little box inside the aircraft, and it would track all these different satellites. And the more satellites it tracked, the more accurate the location it was. But apparently, like I said, NASA has figured out how to use pulsars to be able to navigate in space. So we're getting close. We're getting close, guys.
To know where you're going. If you want to go from Earth to some crazy solar system across the way, you need to go through that warp, and then you need to know where you're going, go through there, and pop your way out. It's like doing nether travel in Minecraft, so you can shorten the distance between going to areas. So long as the Emperor is alive and being fed 1,000 people a day to stay alive, you can do that. The moment he dies, interstellar travel's gone for all of humanity. You're so boned. Now, since the Horus Heresy 10,000 years ago, the Imperium has fallen from grace substantially. All technology has started to dwindle and die. There is now giant fundamental religious extremists that now believe the Emperor of Mankind was a deity, a true living god, which is probably the last thing the Emperor would have wanted to be remembered for. So now you have this thing called the Ecclesiarchy, which is this giant church entirely devoted to spreading the good word of the Emperor. He is now the Holy Emperor God, the God Emperor of mankind, and all of the Imperium has taken up worshiping him to the fullest extent and killing anything that isn't humanity in his name. The Imperium has this futuristic...
There's like a little bit of like Dune I can kind of gather from this. I wonder if they use that as a kind of like a guide, not really a guide, but inspiration.
Gothic tone to it and a hefty religious zealotry to them. If you think anything against the Emperor, that's heresy and you deserve to die. That is called being a heretic. Heretics die in 40K. There is no such thing as freedom of religion. There is no such thing as freedom of speech, so long as you are against the Emperor. There is no such thing as any kind of tolerance. Everyone is a religious zealot.
Wow.
Some more than others.
Especially this guy.
But no matter what, you're preaching that good word. So right now, everyone in humanity is trying to expand their empire across the stars. If you are a heretic, someone who doesn't believe in the Emperor, you are deserving of death. If you believe in the Chaos Gods, you are also a heretic and you deserve death. If you are an alien race of any kind, you are a filthy Xenos and you deserve death as well. So long as the murder continues and humanity expands, the Imperium of Man is very, very happy.
Wow.
However, the largest fighting force of this Imperium is my personal favorite faction, and the first faction we will discuss, the Astra Militarum, or also known as the Imperial Guard.
Pretty shit now, man. You finished. That's it, man.
Game over.
Man.
The Imperial Guard is the main fighting force of the Imperium, and in a world of horrifying creatures, galactic monstrosity,
Rest in peace, Bill Paxton.
the literal demons themselves breaking through the fabric of time to kill you, the Imperial Guard are untold billions of regular men and women wearing modern day like flak armor with a laser rifle. This is the humble lasgun, the main weapon of the Imperial Guard. It fires superheated plasma lasers at an extremely fast fire rate. It is reliable, never jams. It can blow off limbs, giant holes in concrete. It is overall an extremely devastating weapon in modern day. It is one of the weakest in the 40K universe.
Is a
a
flashlight?
laser rifle that never jams. It could blow off limbs. One of the weakest weapons.
That is crazy. Talk about power creep.
That's the world we're in right now. But who cares? Because the Imperial Guard has, in each battle, 500,000 of these men and women. 30,000 large armored tanks, 10,000 artillery batteries. The Imperial Guard wins through sheer numbers and firepower. They kind of have this World War I, World War II style aesthetic with legions of guardsmen as well as high company commanders and generals on the field along with.
That makes sense. I mean, if that they would kind of go back to reference that point in history to where it was still using just massive numbers of personnel to basically smash against other mass number of personnel. But they had technology. It's not like, Civil War where it was, I mean, it had technology in Civil War, but it was, it was trash. Oh, I couldn't imagine standing in a musket line, pouring powder and shoving that stupid paper in muzzle. Whatever that is. Somebody's going to correct me in the comments.
With them and multiple kinds of troops. A normal Imperial Guard battle starts off with artillery, long lines of artillery, cracking the crust of the planet underneath the enemy's feet. And as this barrage continues, hundreds of thousands of guardsmen, a sea of guardsmen surges forward, firing and charging at everything possible while the planet rumbles as tanks roll up behind them. Gunships block out the sun and tanks block out the dirt with the steps and hoofprints of millions of guardsmen. It is through numbers and sheer sundering firepower. They are the first and last line of defense for the Imperium and make up a huge bulk of the battles. The Imperial Guard is also made up of tons of different kinds of regiments. The Catachin jungle fighters live in a death world that's more hospitable than almost any firefight they'll ever get into. So they just have this steroid-looking, giant knife, Rambo Predator-looking sons of bitches where nothing
There we go. Rambo. It looks like Contra in a way. I mean, I'm pretty sure Contra was based off of Rambo.
Nothing is anywhere near as scary as a simple night on their home planet. You have the Valhallan winter soldiers who haven't felt their toes in 300 years, the Mordian Iron Guard who are more interested in making their shoes shine than actually fighting a battle, and then of course the big one, the Cadians from Cadia. The biggest export of guardsmen in the entirety of the Imperium.
Okay, I'm not sure. Like, I guess I got my planets mixed up. So this is the planet where everyone comes from. That I guess they get memed.
You will fire your first gun at 5. You will disassemble and reassemble it at 10. You will have pounding artillery drills day in and day out at 15. And you'll fight your first swarm lord at 16. And if you mention Cadia, you will burst into an unrelenting amount of tears and sadness like I do daily. To quote, I have at my command an entire battle group of the Imperial Guard, 50 regiments including specialized drop troops, stealthers, mechanized formations, armored companies, combat engineers, and mobile artillery. Over 500,000 fighting men and 30,000 tanks and artillery pieces are mine to command. Emperor, show mercy to the fool that stands against me, for I shall not. The Imperial Guard are my personal favorite faction in 40k. They're the army I collect the most, the ones I enjoy playing the most, and the one I enjoy in the lore sense a lot. There's something about just a regular man with a laser rifle being told to charge the horrors of this universe and willingly doing so for his god emperor. It's just poetic. They actually represent the main Imperial Guard tactics pretty well.
So these are the tabletop figurines of the Imperial Guard. They look pretty dope, I'm not gonna lie. I still kind of particular to the Space Marines, well, probably a lot of people are. But I could see the appeal from this. Where are we at right now? We're at 27 minutes, okay. We'll keep it going. We'll do like probably one more faction, and then I'll break this up.
Large amounts of artillery that doesn't require a line of sight, lots of tanks, tons of infantry, drop troops, and gunships. Overall, they're pretty similar to how they sound, though a little bit expensive to collect, unfortunately. And they don't hit a lot. They have a bit of a bad aim, but you don't really care because you're just drowning them in shots. However, if you want more accurate fire and specialization, we can move on to talk about Space Marines.
Here we go! The Angels of Death.
The Angels of Death are up next. Space Marines are genetically engineered super soldiers and super...
I think I saw that he had like music in the bottom left. I can't hear it. Maybe it's because he's talking, or maybe it's because I'm talking, or maybe I'm a mouth breather and I can't hear anything anyways.
Humans. They're given extra organs, their skin tissue is toughened, their bones are stronger, they're taller than the average person. They're pretty massive people, and these are the specialized super soldiers that carry out a lot of the more specific tasks for the Imperium, and there's tons of legions of them. In fact, there's one per Primarch. Each Primarch, the Emperor's son, as I mentioned before, oversees their legion of Space Marines. The genetic upgrade they get is based on the genes of said Primarch. It's something called a gene seed. That's what brings them up to this like superhuman level. As stated, each Primarch has their own legion. Robot Girly Man has the Ultramarines, Jagatai Khan has the White Scars, Rogel Dorn has the Imperial.
Did he say Girly Man? I think he did.
Fists. Corvus Corax has the Raven Guard, and there's a whole bunch of other side sections that are also extremely interesting and have a little bit more of a twist on the average Space Marines, which we will discuss in a bit. Humorously enough, I don't have a whole lot to say about Space Marines. They're superhumanly fast.
He doesn't have a whole lot to say about Space Marines, but he made an hour-long video on them. Just saying.
In fact, it's been said that nothing that large should move that quick. These men in power armor moving at blazing fast speeds. Their reflexes are faster. Their skin is tougher. They are over.
So I was watching a video, even though I said I don't want to watch too many of them, but one was commenting, is kind of breaking down one of the videos that I've already made a video about, and I was always wondering what those circles were on the Space Marines head. Apparently those are those service dots or service awards or whatever, like depending on what color it is how many years they've been in service, and like hundreds, maybe 1,000 years. I don't know. I guess I'll look that up.
Overall, just extremely powerful soldiers. In fact, where they differ comes down to which Space Marine Legion we're talking about. For instance, the Ultramarines done by Robot Gilliman are the main blue boys. Strong in almost every way, the jack of all trades kind of group that are a little bit too strong, and that's a lore problem, but the White Scars by Jagatai Khan are all about speed, freaks, go fast. We're talking attack bikes, we're talking land speeders. You want to go in quick, you want to hit them hard, you want them to be swarming around like buzzflies. Buzzsaws. With the speed of buzzsaws.
I'm not the only one, it's awesome.
Fuck you, Pale King. Salamanders love fire. Fire in the forge, fire in battle. Flamers, melta-guns, multi-meltas. Just so long as something can be burning, that's big. And they're also actually some of the nicest of the Space Marines. A lot of Space Marines have this kind of like holier than thou thing because of their genetic strength. However, the Salamanders tend to put human lives above the lives of themselves, which is actually rather rare. They're also all black, but not like just regular black, like 2 a.m. line at a White Castle. Black. Like they have a charcoal, dark, ashy exterior and blazing red eyes. Apparently something about living on their home planet of Nocturne, which I don't know if that makes much sense, but who cares? This is like fantasy land anyway. Overall, Salamanders are actually one of my personal favorite legions because they're just really cool. They're fun to play as because of all their flamer weapons, and they have a nice, like, more heartwarming lore as opposed to being super evil like everyone else is. Oh my god, we're not even a quarter of the way through the Space Marine Legions. Imperial Fists believe in the power of the siege and defensive positions. Raven Guards, master of stealth and sabotage while having bird helmets. Iron Hands, masters of machines and vehicles while being really goddamn good at being sold on eBay after one nerf. Space Wolves, Vikings and wolves and tons of wolves and axes, battle axes, fur everywhere. Space Wolves, angry, big teeth, Blood Angels, the genetic defect to make them want to drink blood and go crazy, called the Red Thirst. They have Cupid wings and stuff, which is a little bit strange. And they are all super gay for Sanguinius. Dark Angels are old school knights and inner circle theme and...
Are you a heretic?
Me? No, never. Once in a blue moon.
Yo,
Death Watch, a fancy anti-Xenos group that nobody plays because Death Watch, and they look cool though, but no one plays them. I don't know about Death Watch. They're there though. Black Templars.
No one plays Death Watch? Huh.
For the people who, if you haven't prayed at least 3 times a day, you're gonna start praying out that airlock, and I'm sure there's some other chapters I may have missed as well, like Crimson Fists and stuff, but those are the main ones right here. Here, quote from the Emperor himself. They shall be my finest warriors, these men who give of themselves to me. Like clay I shall mold them, and in the furnace of war I shall forge them. They shall be of iron will and steely sinew. In great armor I shall clad them, and with the mightiest weapons shall they be armed. They will be untouched by plague or disease, no sickness shall blight them. They shall have such tactics, strategies, and machines that no foe will best them in battle. They are my bulwark against the terror. They are my defenders of humanity. They are my Space Marines, and they shall know no fear. And on the tabletop, they fuck. Oh, they fuck hard. As of making this video, Space Marines are laughably strong. That might change at some point, but overall, Space Marines just have it's like a Swiss Army knife, a tool for anything you need, except it's like a gold-plated Swiss Army knife. It is extremely strong. If you are actually getting into the tabletop of Warhammer, Space Marines are a great start.
Well, I shall be getting Space Marines. I wonder which should I get first. I really like the Jagatai Khan. I like the color scheme. I like the way they fight. So I thought that'll probably be my first set. And then I gotta paint them. I sigh, like I don't like painting. I just kind of scared to jack them up is what it is.
Also, whatever gameplay style you have, whether you want to be sit back with long range and heavy weaponry, go fast and run in, or even just full melee, all of these options are totally there for you. Space Marines are super bad.
I say Jagatai Khan. I just realized that that's just their Primarch. And I'm probably mispronouncing his name. What legion is it? Yeah, it's the white ones.
Ass. But unfortunately, it's time we start praying to our new god, the 2011 Honda Civic.
So is it any wonder people are afraid of technology?
All right, guys, I'm going to stop it here because we are almost halfway through the video. Like I said, I want to break this up. So what my time look like? 36 minutes. All right, so we're 36 minutes into this video. This is part 1 of me reacting to Bricky's every single Warhammer 40K faction explained. And this is his part 1. So, yeah, maybe more than 2 of these. There may be 4 or 5 or however many it is. Like I was saying, this is me breaking this up. So, you know, there's not this long hour and 10-minute video like I had on my last one. This is just going to be part 1. There's going to be a part 2, possibly a part 3, part 4. I appreciate y'all stopping by. I appreciate all the interactions. Obviously, I make mistakes. I'm really new to this. But I enjoy seeing you guys type into the comments. And I read every single one of them. Just so you know, if you want to say anything to me, it's fine. I'm really thick-skinned. If I'm doing something wrong, I accept positive criticism pretty well. If it's negative criticism, I'll probably go cry in a corner or something. Nah, I'm not built with it. Nah, but real. I thank you for stopping by. Thank you for clicking on this video. I appreciate it. I'm trying to get better. Trying to get better content for you guys. Appreciate everything. Do me a favor. Like the video. Subscribe to my channel. I don't even care about the notification thing, but you can hit it if you want to. I'm going to be uploading videos like this probably once every week. If it's something like this, it'll probably be 2 times. So the next video for this will be coming out pretty soon, and I'm going to keep it going, man. You know, whatever you want to see, hit me up in the comments. I got some things on the list for the people that requested some more of the 40K videos. But yeah, appreciate y'all stopping by. Like, share, subscribe. Peace.